Hello, my dears. My name is Joanna, and I welcome you to my podcast. This time, Corona edition, it seems. I feel like there's a lot of confusion, fear, and lack of knowledge regarding this topic. So I thought I'd share shortly how it went down for me before I can hopefully return to normal schedule next week. Well, first, how did I get it? Well, some mothers bring flowers. Mine brought Corona. Sadly, no joke. After her visit of her chemotherapy-treated sister, she had to change trains in several stations. It is safe to assume she got it there. She has shown the first symptoms when she was with me. As did I, but they were too subtle for us to truly notice. So how did I figure out I had it? Well, for a short recap, I had around 5 weeks earlier a reflu for 3 weeks. A week later, a sinusitis for a week. Barely made it out of it when she came to visit. Because of her visit, I was delayed on this podcast, and finishing it off Tuesday morning, I didn't feel too well. But it seemed okay. Then the coughing started. After a good hour of working, I couldn't continue. I thought, alright, might work on it later. But the symptoms just kept getting worse. I went within 3 hours from everything is fine to do I need to call an ambulance? This illness was really different from the reflu and sinusitis I had the weeks prior. I had this enormously dry cough, which made my lungs cramp up and hurt more and more. Soon my lungs were hurting and I had slight trouble breathing. That was an extremely frightening experience, because it really escalated so extremely in such a short amount of time. I immediately warned my mother, who of course started to self-isolate herself. I had time to remember, so here are all the symptoms. It started with strong tiredness or a lot of sleep felt needed. Then slight throat pain. Also there was this strange muscle soreness. It was more like I was exercising and not the usual heaviness. I felt like while I was sleeping that my body trained for a marathon. Then there was this headache that seemed to originate between the eyes and right at the base of the nose. I couldn't sleep until I took a paracetamol. But the most noticeable symptom is clearly that dry cough. My aunt, who also had corona, had the same symptom. Now I get asked a lot if I'm sure I have it, as we couldn't get tested for a lack of tests. The answer is yes, to 95%. I literally had the real flu a few weeks earlier, and I am sick a lot with that sort of things. These symptoms were unlike anything I ever experienced. First, the enormous focus on the lung was absolutely atypical. Then the muscle soreness I never had. Usually my muscles feel just they are made of lead. As weird as it may sound, but those symptoms felt foreign. It felt also completely different from any flu or influenza I ever had. Several also had including things like cough and the like. But the strongest hints were definitely the strong dry cough and how fast the symptoms escalated. So, any tips I can give you? Yes, definitely. The problem with corona is really how fast you lose control over the situation. It is like a sports car. So the key is to keep it contained. You achieve that by keeping your body energized and avoid overdoing yourself. Every time I slightly overdid myself, the symptoms started exploding again. You keep your body energized by sleeping and resting, but also by eating good food and low-fat, high-energy food. Cookies, for example. Your body needs loads of energy to contain the virus. Shea butter is also nice. I also drank water rich with magnesium to battle the muscle soreness, but that might not be needed for many. If you do that, you'll relatively fast see your symptoms get better. That was it for today's episode. I hope you found it helpful. Next week we are hopefully back on topic. Hope to see you then. Watch yourselves and take care.